Hey guys, welcome back to Phillips Hot Rod Garage. Alright guys, we're about to get back to work on this rusty old 1928 Model A Special Coupe. We got a lot of work to get done on the driver's side subrail in this video. Gonna try to get that subrail completely finished. We're about 2 to 3 videos away from having a completely rust-free cowl. But before we get started on this thing, I want to show you a couple of other vehicles that I got in the shop that need some work. All right, so here's one of the cars I've got that needs a little attention. It's a 32 Ford 4-door sedan, real Henry Steel 32. Car's got a brand new chassis sitting under it, 4-wheel disc brakes, Mustang 2 front suspension. It's a real good start of a street rod project, aftermarket firewall in it. I bought the car just like this. All those primer spots, all that body filler showing, bought it just like that. I've not done anything to the car except blow the dust off and put the fenders on it so I could see what I was working with, went through it to see how many parts I had to have, bought a few pieces for it. Now what we can do is prime this car all one color, probably black, get a grill, get a hood, fit all that, get the engine put in, try to get this car lowered, looking good. I can do that. Or we can do some work on this old 37 pickup. This thing's got a 55 Y block sitting in it, 3 deuces, droppedaxle. Channeled pretty hard, sitting on a 40 chassis. The frame's been heavily modified. It's been kicked up in the rear a pretty good bit. Got a banjo rear end in it. I've also got a Mustang T5 transmission in it with an S10 tail shaft conversion. Got a modern driveline transmission adapter on a factory Ford pickup bell housing. That's a hydraulic clutch bell housing. So I could do some work on this. All right guys, so you can see I got plenty to do. There's plenty to work on. So in the event that I get burned out on the Model A, or if I just need a change of scenery, or if I'm waiting on parts to come in for this car and I need something else to work on, I got plenty of other vehicles to work on. So I'm gonna try to figure out how to put up a poll. Hopefully the poll's up by the time this video is put out. Let me know which one of those you'd like to see me work on. Now the 37 Ford pickup and the 32 sedan are probably closer to being ready to go on the road than the Model A. The reason I'm working on the Model A more is it's the car that I had first. I've been working on this car longer. I just recently got these other vehicles. So let me know which one you'd like to see worked on. All right, it's time to fix the driver's side subrail. All right, let's knock out some rivets. Well, that did not work. That worked better. Yeah. Grind it some more. All right. Got those. I think I'll turn this over and get it out of the way. So I had to get that C-clamp out of the way. Well, that's not going to work. Most of what's rusty here is going to be covered up when I put this bracket in. It covers up a lot of it. So I'm going to weld this stuff up so it looks good, because you'll probably see this area here. You'll probably see this here. You'll never see again once the floor pans and the carpet are floor mat, whatever goes in here is all in. You'll never see any of that stuff anyway. I just need it to be solid, so I'm gonna weld it up. All right, so that's about as clean as I'm gonna be able to get it without sandblasting. Now I will be blasting the whole car, but that'll be a little bit later on down the road. Unfortunately, there's some areas here I'm just not gonna be able to weld the holes up. They're just too bad. So I'm gonna cut it right across here, like a little triangular patch. Fortunately, I have a piece of old subrail here that I'm gonna cut a piece out of for my patch. And I'll probably end up coming in here and cutting this area out and putting a patch in here as well. This, hopefully I can just weld up, hopefully. So that's the plan. All right, so let's make a patch. I was gonna use this piece of subrail, but it's a little bit too narrow here for the area I need to repair. So instead, I'll just go with a piece of metal. Just a piece of flat metal that I've got laying around here. I think it'll work fine. Get it lined up, get it marked out. That'll work. That'll work just fine. Now while I'm going, I'll go ahead and make a piece to go here as well. Oh yeah, that'll work. All right, so I cut this end off to go here, cut this piece off to go right here. There it is. Got them both done. All right, let's mark it so we can cut out all the old rust. Right now, let's mark this one. All right, I normally like to use my cutoff wheel with a guard on it, but I can't get it up in there. So I'm gonna have to use one without a guard this time. Not the best idea, but I gotta do what works. All right, so both of these pieces fit good. So I'm gonna go ahead and get them clamped, get them ready to weld. All right, let's get that tacked in. All right, there they are, tacked in place. Hey, that turned out good. Now let's get it welded, get all the grinding done. All right, I'll let you guys see some of my welds. It's not too bad. I'm not a pro, but I'll do till one gets here. Now let's weld up these holes. turned out good. All right, guys, so I just did an old school trick there. I just took a piece of filler rod, stuck it in there, welded over it with a MIG. The filler rod helped fill the hole in faster. When I get that ground off, you'll never even know that was rusty. All right, there we go. Subrail is solid, welded on the inside here. These holes here welded up. These holes here, holes here. There's some pitting. That won't matter. All this here was rusted out. That's all solid now. Most of this you won't even see. I just had to get it solid. It's all covered up when the car is done. All right, I'm gonna put the A-pillar back in place, see how it all looks put back together. All right, I'd call that a success. All this stuff I welded right in this area, most of it is under the A-pillar, so you don't see it. It's nice and solid now. All this in here looks good. Put that bracket back in, that brace. And that patch panel I put under there is all under the brace, all covered. There's a few pits here. I could take the welder and weld over that and grind it down just to strengthen that a little bit. I don't know that I will. It's not gonna really matter. You can see the patch panel here that I put in. Of course, welded holes here, welded holes on the side. It's solid. I'm happy with that. Call it a success. All right, guys, I appreciate you watching. I'm super happy with the way this driver's side subrail turned out. There's a little bit more work to do on the driver's side subrail extension. I got it sandblasted, but there's a few little pinholes in here I got to weld up. Then there's this driver's side outer cowl side that we got to fit the same way we did the other side. It's probably going to require some shrinking, some stretching. Then we got to cut out the gas tank. So a couple more videos, I'll get this stuff done and we'll have a complete rust-free cowl. So guys, take that poll, tell me which one of those vehicles, the 32 Ford sedan or the 37 Ford pickup, tell me which one you'd like to see worked on. I'm probably going to take a break from the Model A in a little bit. It's coming along good, but it's been a lot of work. Getting about ready to work on something else. Tell me which one you'd like to see. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for subscribing. I appreciate you. I'll see you in the next one.